Hi everyone, welcome to Yoga with Louise live stream. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. If this is your first time joining in my class, I want you to just relax, enjoy the movement, don't overthink the poses. I want you to just play where you're comfortable, open up your body progressively, and just see where it might take you today. For today's class, I'm going to be focusing quite a lot into the arms, a lot of focus on that little back wing area, that little jiggle that we don't want when we take up the arm to wave. We're going to look at tightening up that section of the arm. So when we come to the primary series, I want you to focus on trying to find length through the tricep. We're going to start seated with a little bit of mobilization through the arms, and then we'll be using the B series of the Tibetan rites just to build up those energy into the body, make those chakras nicely warmed up. I'm going to shoot for about 21 repetitions of each rite. You can speed it up or slow it down. I'm going to set a moderate pace so that we're nicely warmed up. When we come to the primaries, we're going to hold a little bit longer, anywhere from about 20 seconds to about even 30 seconds on some of the poses. And I want you to try and find that extra work in the tricep as we play. Then we'll stretch it out and bring it to a nice little relaxation and bit of breath work. Sound good? You ready to start? All right. Take off your top. We're going to start warming up in a second, and make sure that you have a hand towel or a strap with you today. You're going to need it for the little stretch series at the end of the class. All right. So I want you to come to a kneeling position in Thunderbolt. So you're kneeling with your knees together and your feet together, and you're sitting back on the feet. If that feels really uncomfortable, take a block, open up the legs a little bit wider, feed the block through, and sit back on the block. If that still feels uncomfortable and you have any knee mobility problems, you can just give me a kneeling frame. Just make sure that you've got enough padding underneath your knees with your hips stacked over the knees. So find your starting seat that's working for you this morning. You're going to invert the hands and place them palm down on the mat. Bring them as close to your knees as you can and just lean weight into your wrist line. Keep your belly button firmly pulled in. And then gently creep your hands a little bit more forward. Let's say half a hand to maybe a full hand space forward, and lean in again. You're going to feel a stretch from the wrist line, from your carpal tunnel, flaring up through the forearm. See if you can creep forward a little bit more. So the further away you are from the knees, the more stretch you're going to feel into that tricep area. Give me a big breath in and lean your body weight right, focusing on that right arm. Big inhale in, come back towards the midline of the body, lean left. Inhale, bring it back towards the midline of the body. Peel up along the midline and just give me a little rotation into the wrist line, releasing that tension. Take it in the opposite direction. Extend the left arm out in front of you. Grab hold of the forefingers and give me a little tug back, focusing on that stretch through the wrist and the forearm. Relax the forefingers and grab hold of your thumb. Tug it slightly down and backwards. Feel that stretch. Keep lengthening through those forefingers. Rotate your hand, fingertips looking down, and grab hold of the forefingers. Pull back and extend through that arm. Feel the stretch. If you were closet texting or working on your keyboard yesterday, you are going to feel this little stretch. Relax and give me a little starburst. Let's take it to the other side. Find your setup, grab those forefingers and give me a little pull back. Grab hold of your thumb, tug it down and slightly back. Keep lengthening through those forefingers. Rotate your hand down, drop the fingertips towards the floor, grab the forefingers, extend through that arm, think length. Relax, give me a little starburst through the fingertips. Sitting up nice and tall, hands braced softly on your lap or from your kneeling position if you're working the modification. Big breath in, exhale, come over the midline of the body, cupping your hand or your bum with your back hand and just crossing over the midline of the body with the other. Inhale, come back. Exhale, take it to the other side. You're going to gently oscillate side to side, tying your breath and your movement in. So exhale as you come over. If you're working the modification from the kneel, exhale as you come over. Inhale to come back. Exhale to take it over. Give me one more to each side. As you complete the last one, you're going to float your arms behind you, palms looking up towards the ceiling. Don't bunch up the shoulders, so keep the collarbones and the shoulders soft. You're going to pulse your palm up and down towards the ceiling, focusing on that stretch in the tricep or the bat wing area of the arm. Keep sitting up nice and tall and try not to bunch up those shoulders. Give me 3 more like this. Aim high and then pulse or bring the thumbs in towards the midline of the body and back to your start position. You're going to start feeling that little tricep area begin to burn. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Soften the arms down towards the floor. Interlace the hands loosely and then see if you can make a little fist. Squeeze the 2 shoulder blades together, push up through the shoulders and focus on trying to find that little burn through the tricep area. Give me 2 or 3 more breath cycles here, sitting up as tall as you can. Drop the arms at your sides. Float the left arm overhead, bend the elbow and place the hand palm down between the 2 shoulder blades. Reach overhead with your right hand. Grab for the outside of your elbow and tug in towards the midline of the body so that you're feeling that stretch in the bat wing. Keep tugging in towards the midline. Stay here or take that right arm underhand and see if you can give me a little bear grip. Keep squeezing that elbow on the top arm in towards the midline of the body and keep looking for length through the tricep. You could use your hand towel or your strap if the hands are not able to connect. Otherwise, just stay in position 1. Relax. Give me a little shrug twice forward and twice back with the shoulders. Let's rinse and repeat on the other side. Bring your right arm overhead, bend the elbow, place the hand palm down between the 2 shoulder blades, reach overhead for the elbow and tuck in towards the midline of the body. Stay here or take your underhand bear grip and keep squeezing that top elbow in towards the midline of the body. Hold that stretch for me. Gently uncouple, drop the hands softly to the floor, tuck your toes under and find your way softly onto the haunches. Feet are just inside of hip-width distance apart. Soften through the knees and roll up. Find a standing line on the mat and give me a soft little forward fold. Just dangle your arms down and softly rock back and forth between the balls and the heels of your feet. Come to stillness, heel toe in, connecting your big toes and your ankles, and cross the right foot over the left. Folding forward to either stop in table, or you could reach for your block if you've got limited range of motion, and just lean into the block. Otherwise, hands on the floor. If you can easily reach the floor, you can invert your hands and creep your fingertips closer towards your ankle line, nodding the crown of your head down. To work through the arms at the same time, if you've got a good sense of balance on the mat, float the hands behind you, interlace, think of making that little fist, squeeze the 2 triceps together as close as you can, give me rotation through the shoulders and try to drop your interlaced hands overhead to the floor in front of you. Softly uncouple the arms, dangle them down, soften through the knees, peel up to about a tabletop line, shake it out, clip your feet together, step left over right, find your foot position on the mat, come down in table, use your block or connect your hands to the mat, inverting the hands if you like and creeping your fingertips closer towards your ankle line, nod the crown of your head down and find your sense of balance on the feet. Once you found it, float your hands behind you, palms looking in, interlace the hands, make a little fist, squeeze the 2 triceps together and try and drop the crown of your head down, almost rotating softly through the shoulders as if you wanted to drop your interlaced hands to the floor. Hold that stretch for me. Softly uncouple, place your hands on the floor, step out, heel toe out, so that your feet are a little bit wider than hip-width distance apart. Soften through the knees and ragdoll, roll or sway side to side as you bend the alternate knee. We're going to come into the B series of the Tibetan rites and we're going to play it up. So soften through the knees and roll up. Your feet are in a wide samasthiti, so just a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. You're going to bend the back leg as you come over the midline of the body, ragdoll swaying your arms side to side. There's absolutely no tension in your arms. Those arms are limp and you're just swaying side to side, crossing over the midline of the body. Make sure that you're bending the back knee so that you're not putting any torque on the knee as you come over the midline of the body. As you cross over and you bend that back leg, zipper up on the inner thighs, pull up strongly from the pelvic floor and give me a nice little flat belly. Keep lengthening through the spine. Give me 4 more. Last one, we're going to change up the foot line. We played with this one yesterday, but we're going to try and make it narrow today. Heel toe in. If you've got any knee issues, I want you to stay with your knees stacking underneath your hips. Otherwise, heel toe in, giving me a narrow mountain, feet clipped together. Arms at your sides in Tadasana, mountain. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, sit back in chair, Utkatasana, and float the hands out in front. You're going to rinse and repeat between the two. Yesterday we played with a wider foot stance. If you're feeling the knees, if they're not happy in this narrow stance, just open up and change your leg line. Take it as wide as you can. If you've got limited range of motion, just give me a small little bend in the knee. Exhale to sit down, inhale to float up. Exhale, start challenging those thighs. Try and bring the top of your thighs as parallel to the floor as you can so that you can really feel the legs working and keep lengthening through those fingertips, trying to stretch that back wing as you reach for the wall on the opposite side of the room. Give me 4, 3, 2, last one. You're going to bring it into a kneeling frame and we're going to find our way onto the back from here. Set yourself up at the front of your mat with room to play behind you. Clip your feet softly together or you can keep them in a narrow stance. Bend the right elbow, stacking underneath your armpit and replicate on the left. I want you to give me a tall frame so don't collapse through the bosom. Push down through your elbows, stretch that back wing area of your arm and nod your chin softly towards your chest. Your rib cage is looking up to the ceiling. You're going to give me a double leg lift up and down, shooting for about 21 repetitions. If you're feeling the lower back, tuck your fingertips underneath your bum for support or use your hand towel and just wedge it underneath your lower back. Keep your chest up nice and high. Keep looking for length in the back wing area of the arm and use your inner thighs, your upper thighs and your lower abs to make those legs lift and lower. So all of the work for the lift happening above your knee line and below your belly button line. We played with this one yesterday. Give me 2 more. As you complete the last one, you're going to bend the knees and connect the soles of the feet to the mat. Find your way down onto the back. We're going to play up a bridge line. Make sure that your feet and your knees are hip-width distance apart, spine in neutral. So allow for that little space between your lower back and the mat. Don't have the feet set up too far away from the body. Scooch them up closer towards your bum line. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, tilt your pelvis towards the 12 o'clock position, imprinting your lower back into the mat. Peel up 1 vertebra at a time, disconnecting your bum line from the mat, coming up nice and high in your bridge line. Squeeze the glutes and the hamstrings, then soften through the back chain of the leg and roll back down to your start position. You're going to rinse and repeat dynamically. So you're not holding the bridge line. You're articulating up 1 vertebra at a time, giving me a small little pause before you roll right back down to your start position. As you get into a rhythm of warming up through the back, I want you to focus on what you're doing as you play. So articulate up 1 vertebra at a time. Make sure that you stop when you reach the shoulder blades and that you're not bringing it onto the neckline. When you're bringing it down, Back down, one vertebra at a time. Don't skip over the lower back. Round and release your lower back before your bum cheeks touch, then bring it back to neutral. So thinking of playing with that arch in your back, limbering up through the spine, and getting the back chain of the body nicely warmed up. The whole time that you're playing, keep your chin line soft and relaxed, so don't arch the neck and look up and throw up towards the ceiling. And make sure that when you're at the apex of your bridge, you more or less have a straight line between your knee and the ankle. So don't have the foot set up too far away from the body, or you're going to put a lot of strain on your knee joint. Use your breath and sync your movement to your breath. Setu Bandha bridge, using it dynamically to warm up through the body. Let's do 4 more cycles. Then we're going to find our way to 4-point kneeling, and we're going to play with that tabletop and the down dog that we used yesterday. So as you complete your last one and reconnect to the mat, gently hug your knees in towards the chest and cradle rock your lower back out. Use that sideways rocking motion to roll yourself left and prop yourself up in a 4-point kneeling frame on your mat. As you come into position on the mat, check that your hands are stacking underneath your shoulders with your knees underneath your hips. If you've got any wrist issues, you can give me a fisted line, wrists looking in. Tuck your toes under. On the exhale, float up to a down dog. On the inhale, come through the table and lightly touch or graze your knees to the mat before you find your down dog again. So you're playing dynamically between the tabletop line and the down dog. I want you to control the knees as they come through, lightly tapping them to the floor or keeping them hovering off the floor if you're struggling to control the tap. To control the tap as you bend, zipper up on those inner thighs and pull up strongly from the pelvic floor. So I don't want to hear those knees smacking into the mat. I want you to control as you come down. Use your inner thighs, use your lower abs. Exhale every time you hit the down dog. Inhale for the table. Every time you hit the down dog frame, try to drop those heels progressively closer to the floor so that you can feel the opening through the back chain of the legs. Give me 4, 3, 2. Body should be nicely warmed up. We're going to kick it back in child. Come through 4-point kneeling, big toes together, knees open nice and wide. Push back, trying to connect your bum bones to your heels, and then wrap your arms around the body. Back of the hands connected to the mat, palms looking up. Relax your shoulder blades by giving me a shrug forward and a shrug backwards. Remember that child pose is your rest or recovery pose. So at any time during the class, this is the position that you come to if you need a little time out. All right, ready to play? Let's begin working. We're going to start on the right side of the body. I want you to find for me a down dog frame on the mat. So tuck your toes under from 4-point kneeling and settle into your down dog. Your feet more or less hip width distance apart and your hands shoulder width apart. We're going to arch the dog on the right. So settle into your dog first. Once you've found it, bend the right knee and gently kick up the right leg behind you. Stay or arch by bending the right knee, pointing the toe up to the ceiling, opening up the knee to the right and dropping the foot to the left, giving me a slight arch through your back and looking over that left shoulder for that foot. Zipper up all the way from the inside of your ankle bone on the left, zipper up along the inner thigh, pull up from the pubis all the way towards your breast line. Hold. Keep lengthening through the tricep area on both arms. We're going to bring it to a modified tabletop line from here, Kamatrasana, wild thing. So that floating right foot, you're going to drop it to the floor behind you. Think of that bridge line that you played with just now. Try not to drop your bum to the mat, so keep your hips up nice and high. Keep pushing through that bottom arm. Think length through the tricep, and you're looking towards that floating palm on the top arm. Hold. At any time, find your way to child if you need a timeout. Work that bottom arm. See if you can hold for at least 3 more breath cycles. Then you're going to find your way back into that soft down dog frame that you were playing with, and you're going to find a plank line, clipping the feet together along the midline of the body. Hands stacking underneath your shoulders. We're going to take it to a side plank and then begin to balance the star. Tip your feet right, stacking one leg on top of the other and opening up your top arm into a T shape. Stay or float the top leg up to the ceiling, thinking of trying to resemble a little balancing star or a little starfish. If this is too much for you, bend the bottom knee, extend the top, float that top leg up if you want to, and you can even bring it down onto the bottom elbow. So find the balancing star that's working for you. Hold strong through that bottom arm. We're going to bring it into a quarter dog or a dolphin from here. Find your plank line on the mat. Open up your feet about hip-width distance apart and drop to the elbows. So essentially you're giving me a down dog, but on the elbows. Quarter dog, dolphin. See if you can creep your feet maybe half a foot space forward. Drop weight down into the heels. It's going to feel almost impossible trying to get your heels to the floor. And think of trying to lengthen through the triceps. So send energy down into the mat through your elbows. Hold for me. The crown of your head is not connected to the floor. It's just floating off the floor. Hold at least 4 more breath cycles. Then we're going to try and work a one-legged chaturanga or a fallen staff. Kick it back in, child, if you need a timeout. Find your way back to your plank line. See if you can give me a single leg lift on the right. We played with this yesterday. So softly extend and float the right leg behind you. Don't pop and rotate. Give me a small lift. Bend through the elbows. Don't chicken wing them. Use your triceps to hold your body weight as you float and hold just off the floor. If this is too much for you, execute a standard chaturanga by keeping the feet together as you come down and hold, or execute from 4-point kneeling by just giving me a little bend into the elbows. Play where you can. Those triceps should be burning. Connect both feet to the mat, tuck your toes under, slide your body weight forward, and give me a modified up dog. So the only points of contact on the mat are your palms and your feet. Drop down through the arms and try to find length through the tricep on both arms. Down dog it and hold. Float your bum up to the ceiling. Push into both hands, sink the weight into the heels of your feet. Try to find more length through your tricep. Bring it onto your fingertips. Step up one leg at a time, or give me a little bunny hop and come softly to the front of your mat. Change your orientation on the mat and swivel towards me, opening up your feet as wide as you need to come into a wide squat. Palms are together in a prayer position and you're using the elbows and the back of your tricep to open up through the groin. If coming low is not for you, just hang from table and think of lengthening here. Play where you're comfortable. Remember, open up your feet as wide as you need to for the squat line. Anatomically, we're all different, so no two people are going to look the same in the squat line. Let's play up the squat. At any time, you can shake it out if the hips start feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Bring your right hand to the inside of the right foot. Push with your tricep against the inside of the groin area on the right and see if you can open up through the left chain of the body, extending that arm up to the ceiling. Come back towards the midline. Use your triceps and the back of your elbows to open up through the groin. Let's repeat on the other side. Hand to the inside of that foot. Extend through the top arm. Try to drop your bum bones down towards the floor. Come back towards the midline of the body. Shake it out if you need to. Otherwise, focus on your right arm. Bring as much of the elbow and the tricep through the leg as you can. Reach your opposite hand behind you and see if you can find a bind. Back view. As you come through, palm is looking away from you. Reach over with your opposite hand and give me a bind. If the bind is not possible for you, stay in position 1 or use a hand towel or a strap as a prop. Shake it out at any time if the hips start feeling too tight. Rinse and repeat on the other side. Tuck as much of the elbow and the tricep through as you can. Try to find your bind on the opposite side. Rotate and look up through that top shoulder. Come back towards the midline of the body. Use the triceps to open up through the inside of your thighs and your groin. Come back to your first side. Find your bind. Once you've found it, start extending through the legs. Drop the bottom shoulder down towards the floor. Try and lengthen through that bottom tricep. Rotate the top shoulder away from you and try to open up through the top tricep. See, look for some length through that tricep. Drop down, shake it out. Let's take it to the other side. Drop down, find your squat. Tuck through, find your bind. Once you've found your bind, try and extend through the legs. Look for length on the bottom tricep and the top tricep. So open up that top shoulder. Float back down along the midline of the body. Heel toe in and give me a little butterfly on the mat. So you're coming onto the tips of your toes. Heels are connected so you look like a floating butterfly with your knees open to the side. Using your inner thighs and your connection through the lower abs to hold your frame. You're going to try and come to a standing tiptoe position. So don't lean into the knees. Use your inner thighs. Pull up all the way towards the crown of your head and then zip it back down to come to your start position. You're just going to do that twice more. If this is too strenuous for you, just find a soft turnout position and just give me a soft little bend in the knees. We're going to set up from here for a crow line. If you know where you're going to, drop in and hold. Otherwise, come down through your last butterfly. Hold that frame. Place both of your hands palms down into the mat. Now, hands are more or less shoulder width apart. I'll give you a front view and then a side view. Give me a little bend in the elbows. So your elbows are going to be a resting spot for your knee. You're going to find a resting spot on the tricep. So somewhere between your elbow and your armpit. You're going to lean the body weight forward, squeeze your knees into your tricep, and use that squeeze as if you were squeezing into a Pilates ring. Side view. As you lean forward and squeeze in, you're going to try and bring one of your toes up off the mat. Use your inner thighs and your lower abs to find that connection, and then see if you can replicate on the other side. Almost bringing the two toes together and opening up into a childlike position. There's a little bit of a tip if this is the first time you're coming into the crow. Use your head as a counterbalance. So the secret is that when you lean forward, don't tuck your head in and look towards your feet, or your trajectory will take you into the mat and you will face plant. And crowns for your teeth are pretty expensive, so work with care. What I want you to do is use your head as a counterbalance. So as you lean forward, look off the front of your mat. Use your chin and your nose as a counterbalance to that weight. See if you can bring one toe off. See if you can bring the other, resting on your tricep. If flying or achieving liftoff is not for you today, just focus on trying to find the connection. So bend the elbows, find your resting spot on the tricep, and then just lean forward using your inner thighs and your core, and then rock back. Lean forward, rock back. If you were able to achieve liftoff and you managed to hold your crow for 30 seconds, awesome. Drop back down, find your way from here to child pose. Big toes together, knees open nice and wide. Wrap the arms around the body. And then just shrug and release your shoulders at least twice forward and twice back. If you're feeling the wrist line, give me a release into the wrist. We're going to find our way into a quarter headstand today. Not a full headstand. We're just going as far as quarter. I want to activate through the triceps. If you've not done this before, take a look. I'll give you a quick tutorial and then I'll walk through again as you try it on your own. Stop anywhere along the process depending on how confident you're feeling today. On your relaxed child pose, arms draped at your side, find your way into hare pose or shashanka by rocking the weight off your forehead and onto the crown of your head, coming into a kneeling position on the mat with your hips stacked over your knees. Your inner thighs are softly engaged and you're pulling up from the pelvic floor. Stay, keep lengthening through the neck, so don't compress through the spine. For the next progression, bend your elbows and place your hands halfway between your head and your knee. Make sure that your hands are not in line with your head, halfway between the head and the knee, so that you've got a little triangular base of support on the mat. Once you've found your frame, think down dog. Tuck your toes under and float or pike your bum up towards the ceiling. Give me a nice little bend in the elbows. Don't flare them out. Think of activating through the triceps and creeping your toes closer towards your nose. Give me a soft bend on the one knee and see if you can find a resting spot on your tricep on the one side. Zipper up strongly on the inner thigh and the lower abs of the other side and see if you can come into a resting frame. Hold. For those of you that need the walkthrough again, find child. From child, rock the weight off your forehead and onto the crown of your head, coming into a soft kneeling frame on your mat with your hips stacked over your knees. Bend the elbows, place them halfway between your head and your knee. Make sure you've got a nice grip into the mat with your hands. Tuck your toes under. Float your bum up to the ceiling. Stay or creep your toes closer towards the crown of your head. Bend one knee, find a resting spot on the tricep. Make sure you're not flaring out. So tuck in and see if you can replicate on the other side. Coming into a quarter headstand. Hold for me. Find your way back into child pose from here. Make sure that you're relaxing into the shoulders. So after your Sirsasana or your headstand, just relax those shoulders. If you're feeling the wrists, give me a little release into the forearm. We're going to rinse and repeat that sequence on the other side. So now that you know where you're going to, see if you can hold a little bit longer and always looking for that extra work in the tricep. Find your way through 4-point kneeling. Find your down dog frame. Settle the weight into your hands and your feet. Let's arch the dog on the left side of the body. So you're going to gently bend the left leg, kick up the left leg behind you, bend the knee, point the toe. Just going to change my orientation on the mat so that I've got more room to play. You're going to arch your dog and you're going to hold that arched frame. So you're peeping over the right shoulder for that left foot. Make sure that you've activated your inner thighs and your lower abs on the right side of the body to protect your lower back. Find wild thing or Kamatrasana, that little extended tabletop line. So you're going to rotate through the bottom leg, drop that floating left leg to the floor. Think of that bridge line that you played with earlier on. Try not to drop your bum. So pike your hips up towards the ceiling. Use your glutes and your hamstrings and float the left arm overhead. Look for work in that bottom tricep. Give me a strong connect to the mat and look towards the palm of that floating hand. That's your drishti, your focal point. Find your way back to a soft down dog frame, and then morph into a plank line. I want your feet clipped together along the midline of the body. So look down and see that you've got a big toe framing either side of your nose. Strong through the arms. Keep looking for length through the triceps. Flip your body weight left, stacking one leg on top of the other, and try to float your top arm up towards the ceiling. Use the modification if you need to. See if you can float that top leg up towards the ceiling. Lengthen through both arms and think of stretching through the tricep on both arms. See if you can give me at least 3 more breath cycles here. Then we're going to drop through a down dog into a quarter dog or a dolphin. Find your plank line. Open up your feet hip width distance apart. Down dog it, but drop onto the elbows. Try to keep your arms in parallel if you can. Creep your feet half a foot to a full foot space forward. Pike your bum up to the ceiling and strong through the triceps. So I want you to lengthen that back wing area of the arm. Don't collapse. Keep sending energy down into the mat through your elbows. We're going to work a chaturanga and try to do it with a single leg lift on the left. Kick it back in child if you need to and take a time out. Otherwise, find your plank line on the mat. See if you can squeeze the glute on the left. Give me a soft lift and float of the left toe behind you. Hold that extended leg line. Tuck your elbows in. Load the tricep and the bicep as you come down, trying to hold your hovering position off the mat. Use the knees for support if you need to. Hold. Keep thinking length. Triceps are burning. All right, connect your bottom left foot to the floor, slide your body weight forward and give me a modified up dog. Don't collapse through the chest. So you're pushing down, you're looking length for length through the tricep. Lengthen through your spine, keep your toes tucked under. Only your hands and your feet are connected to the mat. Down dog it and use your down dog for recovery. Push into the hands, push into the feet. Lengthen through the triceps. Keep piking your bum up towards the ceiling and keep pulling the belly button in towards your spine. We're going to play with that little hop through. Bring it onto your fingertips, stepping up one leg at a time or soften through the knees. Give me a soft bunny hop. No thumping as you land softly on your feet. Roll up. Change your orientation on the mat. Big breath in. Come down into a squat line. Find the squat line that works for you. Push with your elbows in the back of your triceps to open up through the groin. Left hand comes to the inside of the left leg. Use the tricep to push and open up through the groin area on the left as you float your right arm overhead. Inhale, bring it back. Take it to the other side. Think of that length through the body as you come into extension. At any time, shake it out if the groin area is feeling really tight. Come back to your first side. Take as much of the elbow and the tricep and tuck it through, trying to find the bind behind your leg. Lengthen through the tricep on both arms. So open up through that top shoulder and try to stretch the tricep on both arms. Come back to your start position and rinse and repeat on the other side. Find your tuck through. Think of really opening up through the tricep on both arms. So look for that extra length by just focusing on that section of your arm. Come back towards your first side. We're going to open up through the legs. So as you tuck through and find your bind, extend through the legs. You can gently sway the body weight back and forth. Think of that sway we played with when we were warming up. Drop the bottom arm down and look for length through both triceps. Come down. Use your elbows and your triceps to open up through the groin. Find your bind on side 2. Extend through the legs and gently sway. Come back down from your Bhuja Pedasana or little shoulder opening pose. You're going to find your way into that little frog line. So heel toe in. Come onto the tips of your toes. Heels are connected and your knees are open in a floating butterfly. Use your inner thighs and your lower abs and pull up all the way towards the crown of your head. Zip it back down to open up. Modify if you need to by just giving me a small soft plie line and a little bend in your knees. One more. You ready for crow? All right, show me what you got. Bakasana, crow. Find your setup. Right. Place your hands on the mat. Side view. As you lean forward, look off the front of your mat. Use your chin and your nose. Find a resting spot on your tricep and see if you can find a little connect. For those of you that want to try something different, you can try side crow. So if you were to work the right side first, bring your feet together, both hands either side of the left knee, bend. Think of that tabletop frame. Your nose is going to come a lot closer to the floor, so don't panic. As you lean in, think of trying to find a resting spot on your tricep and just see if you can rest the knees. You could even extend the top leg. You can try on the other side. So find your frame, both hands either side of the left leg. Find your position on the mat. Drop down so you're looking just off the floor. See if you can find a resting spot on your tricep. Play where you're comfortable. Otherwise, just play with that little lean in. So whichever crow you were in, You're going to find your way back to child pose from here. Big toes together, knees open nice and wide. Make sure that you're relaxing your wrist line and releasing your shoulder line. Ready for that little Salamba Sirsasana, that half headstand. Kick it back in child and stay or play by rocking the weight onto your crown, coming into a kneeling position on the mat. Bend your elbows, place the hands halfway between the knee and the head. Tuck your toes under. Down dog it. Creep your feet forward towards your nose. Give me a nice little bend in the elbows. Keep your arms tucked in. Find your resting spot on your tricep on both sides. And find your quarter headstand. Try to keep lengthening through the neck. So try not to compress your head and your spine into the mat. Almost think of trying to grow through the spine and the crown, as if you wanted to push off the crown of your head and bring your whole back line and your shoulders up towards the ceiling. Find your way back to child pose. Close your eyes, take your focus in, and give me at least a couple of relaxed breaths here. Relax your shoulder line. Relax your wrist line. If you've got a strap or a hand towel, bring it closer at this point. You're going to gently peel up along the midline of the body, scooch off to one side, and we're going to play with a little forward fold, Paschimottanasana, and then we're going to use that forward fold, take it into a fish, and from the fish line back into the forward fold. So sitting up nice and tall, make sure you've got room to play behind you. You're going to need it just now. Take a big breath in, float your hands overhead, and on the exhale, fold forward. Your feet are just inside of hip width distance apart. Try to bind around the feet. And think nose to knee. If nose to knee is not an option, just drape your hands on the floor or reach for your hand towel or your strap if you have it. Otherwise, grab your t-shirt or your yoga top and use that. Place the band or the strap around your feet. Float your elbows wide. You could even use a normal belt that you would use to hold up your pants or your jeans. Float your elbows wide and think nose to knee. Keep gently opening up. Play where you're comfortable. Peel up along the midline of the body, and we're going to morph into fish, Matsyasana. Bend the one elbow, stacking underneath your armpit. So replicating the position we used right in the beginning when we were playing with that foot lift. Clip your 2 feet together. Strong through the elbows and the rib cage. Nod your chin softly towards your chest. And then I want you to tuck just the tips of your fingers underneath your bum. Then slide your body weight up so that your hands are now positioned in the middle of a butt cheek on each side. Try and drop the crown of your head down towards the floor. So you're pushing off the elbows and trying to lengthen through the triceps. Either stay here, if you've got the strength through the back, you can bring the hands out from underneath the back, so just using the strength through your back, and bring your hands to prayer position with the palms, or rather your wrist line resting on your breastbone, or you can bring your prayer hands overhead to the floor behind you. Play where you're comfortable. If you've managed to get into position 1, but you can't quite get your head to the floor, corral a family member to help you, or place your block where more or less where your head is going to be as you come down, and rest the crown of your head into the block. Make sure that the weight is not on the back of your head, so you're trying to place that weight on the crown of your head. If you don't have a block, Trevor, complete works of William Shakespeare or War and Peace or any thick book will do the job just as well. All right, shake it out. So if you were in the full expression, find your way back onto the elbows. Nod your chin softly towards your chest. Find your way onto one set of fingertips. Find your way onto the other. Big breath in. Exhale, fold forward. Think nose to knee. Play where you're at. Give your legs a shake out if you need it, and try to hold for at least 10 more breaths here. Peel up along the midline of the body. Make sure that your strap is at hand. I'm going to give you a side view and then a front view. Just place the strap on the right-hand side of your body. Open up your feet hip-width distance apart. Bend onto one elbow, bend onto the other, and then ease your way onto the back. Bend the knees, connect the soles of the feet to the mat. Reach for your strap. Take your strap or your hand towel and feed it around the foot on the right. So you're more or less between the ball and the heel of your foot. Make sure you've got the same amount of play on both sides of your strap or your hand towel and gently tug down. If you don't need the strap, you can just use a little Palangusta lock by taking your thumb, middle finger, and index finger and giving me a toe lock around that leg. So find the bind that's working for you. I'm going to demo with the strap on this round. See if you can extend your supported leg, your left leg, and brace into that foot. You're going to keep that left leg extended the whole time as we play with the right leg. Stay where you are on the mat. I'm going to change my orientation on the mat. I've got a limited field of view, so hopefully my whole stick doesn't come down around my ears. Stay in position 1. When you're ready, grab hold of the strap in your left hand and T-shape your right hand, palm down on the mat. Tug slightly down, bringing the toes closer towards your nose and come just over the center line to the left. Stop when you feel a little electric shock running from the outside of your knee and flaring up along the outside of the right leg. That's your ITB band. If you're a runner or a cyclist, you'll feel it immediately. Come back towards the midline of the body and change the cross of your hands. Grabbing hold of the strap in your right hand and T-shaping your left hand, palm down. Take a big breath in and on the exhale, open up your leg to the right as you rotate your head to the left. Try to keep your left shoulder blade as heavy and connected to the mat as you can manage. And don't worry about how close you're bringing that right leg to the floor. Rather focus on keeping your body weight anchored on the left. So I want that left shoulder and that left bum connected to the mat. If you start peeling up off the mat, that's your body telling you to stop. You're moving past your current range of motion. So open up through the groin area progressively and work within your range of motion. To work the arms at the same time, see if you can activate the triceps. So give me a soft little bend on that right elbow and try and stretch through the tricep and the bicep on the right. Inhale, come back towards the midline of the body and change the cross of your hands. T-shape the right hand down. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, cross over the midline of the body. Rotate your head in the opposite direction. Try to keep your right shoulder blade anchored to the mat and try to rotate all the way over. So stacking your right hip on top of the left as best you can. For extra work, bend that left elbow, activate the bicep and the tricep, and see if you can find extra work through the arms at the same time. Try to give me 10 more breaths here. The stretch into the lower back is quite aggressive, so please play within your range of motion. Inhale, bring it back. Change the cross of your legs. So ground, bend both knees, ground your feet into the mat. Find your step through on the left. Extend your right arm, palm down. When you're ready, extend your right leg and brace into that heel. Keep tugging down on the strap. Look for extra work on the tricep area on the left. Keep your chin line soft. Keep your shoulder on the right, heavy into the mat. Change hands. Grab hold with the right hand and T-shape the left hand. Tug down on the strap, bringing your toes closer to your nose. Come just over the center line to the left and pause. There's a soft bend to my elbow on the right so that I'm keeping my tricep and my bicep engaged at the same time. Come back towards the midline of the body and change sides. Big breath in. On the exhale, try and hold for at least 30 seconds if you can. Make sure that your head is moving in one direction and the head in the opposite direction. Keep your right bum and your right shoulder as connected to the mat as you can. It's more important than how wide you're opening up on the left. Play within your range of motion. Keep opening up. Make both shoulder blades nice and heavy and give me a soft little bend in that left elbow so that you're keeping the arms engaged in the stretch as well. Bring it back towards the midline of the body and give me a changeover. Big breath in. On the exhale, drop your leg to the right, rotate your head to the left. As you come over the midline of the body, try to stack your left hip on top of the right. Work within your range of motion. Try to keep your left shoulder blade as connected to the mat as you can. And there might be a difference between the right and the left side of your body. So maybe you're really open on one side and maybe the other side is really tight. Just try to find out where are those tension spots in your body so that you know where you need to breathe and hold a little bit longer. Come back towards the midline of the body. Feed the strap out. And just gently hug both knees in towards your chest and cradle rock your lower back out. We're going to come into Shavasana, work an awesome little relaxation sequence, and I want you to keep your eyes closed as we come into relaxation. So drop down to your sit-up frame for bridge. Drop the arms at your sides at about 45, palms up, not down, up, so that you can relax through your torso. Extend the right leg, rotate the inner thigh out and point the toes towards the corner of the mat. Replicate on the left so you look like a little starfish lying on the mat. Make sure that your spine is in neutral. Keep your belly button softly pulled in. Lift both shoulder blades up off the mat. Tuck them like little wings behind you. And then settle the whole weight of your body into the mat. Close your eyes. Take your focus in. Keep your eyes closed. If you've got a hand towel or a top that you can use, grab it and just place it gently over the eyes to darken the room so that you can easily take your focus in. Keep your eyes closed as we run through a little nidra or relaxation and visualization exercise. I want you to visualize yourself as a sand castle on the seashore with the waves gently lapping in and out. As those waves rush in and brush over your sandcastle, I want you to feel it pulling away some of your sandcastle every time on the tug back out to the ocean. So take a big breath in, visualize those waves rushing and pouring over your body. As they drag back into the ocean, feel them tugging with them your knees, your shins, your calves, and your feet. Big breath in, feel those waves beautifully rushing over your body. As they tug back in towards the ocean, feel them pulling the tops, the backs of your thighs, and your knees with them. Big breath in, feel those waves rushing over your sandcastle. As they brush back towards the ocean, feel them tugging your hips, your pelvis, your bum. Big breath in, feel those waves rushing over your sandcastle. As they brush back towards the ocean, feel them tugging your chest, your rib cage, your belly, your upper back, and your lower back. Big breath in, feel those waves rushing over your body. As they peel back towards the ocean, feel them tugging at your shoulders, your collarbones, taking your arms, your bicep, your tricep, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, your hands, your fingers. Big breath in with a last brush over. As those waves go back towards the ocean, feel them tugging at your crown, your forehead, your eyelids, your eyes, your nose, your cheekbones, your lips, your jawline, your neckline. Gone is that sandcastle. Now, you're just millions of particles of sand floating weightlessly in the ocean surface, being tossed back and forth by the waves. As you take your focus in and sink your breath, I want you to think of trying to relax and soften your whole body every time you exhale. Big inhale in. As you exhale, relax and soften out. Not trying to control the breath pattern, keeping it soft and relaxed. And on the exhale, just melting and dissolving your body. Give me 2 more relaxed breath cycles here. Gently bring your focus back into the room. Become aware of your surroundings. When you're ready and in no particular rush, just bend the knees, hug them in towards your chest, and gently cradle rock your lower back out. Float your right arm overhead to the mat behind you and roll over onto the right side of your body into a little fetal position, Parsvagarbhasana. The bottom arm is used as a pillow, your knees are softly drawn up, and the top hand is pressed gently palm down into the mat. Give me a couple of soft, relaxed breath cycles here, keeping your breath in your body relaxed and soft. When you're ready, you can gently open the eyes, push into that left palm, and find your way to a comfortable seated position of your choice. We're going to end with a little bit of breath work. Find a seat that works for you, one that you can hold for a couple of minutes at least. So easy sitting, half or full lotus. We're going to end with Anulom Vilom, alternate nostril breathing. Relax your left hand and bring your right hand up. Place your middle finger and your index finger on your third eye, the area between the 2 eyebrows, so that you can focus better, or you can tuck the 2 fingers in. Your right thumb you're going to use to open and close the right nostril, and your ring finger you're going to use to open and close the left nostril. Close your eyes, take your focus in. Close your right nostril. Inhale through the left nostril. Close the left nostril. Open and exhale right. Inhale right. Close it. Open and exhale left. Keep rinsing and repeating. If you're comfortable here, add a third component in. The next time you inhale through the one nostril, let's say for 3, close that nostril, nod your chin to your chest, and hold your breath for 6. Release the chin lock, open and exhale through the opposite nostril for 6. Inhale for 3, close it, nod your chin to your chest, hold for 6. Release your chin lock, open and exhale for 6 through the opposite nostril. Get into a gentle breathing cycle of your own, inhaling, retaining, and exhaling with your breath ratio at a 1 to 2 to 2. So if you're inhaling for 3, hold for 6, exhale for 6. If that feels good, build it up. Try 4 to 8 to 8 or 5 to 10 to 10. But at no stage should you be straining to either inhale, retain, or exhale. Start bringing some visualization into your exercise. So every time you inhale through your right nostril, think of connecting to your Pingala or sun breath. This aligns to your sympathetic nervous system. It's very heating and energizing. Think of it as the male energy system in your body. Every time you inhale through the left nostril, think of connecting to your moon breath, your Ida breath. This aligns to your parasympathetic nervous system. It's very cooling, calming, and restorative in nature. So in essence, what you're trying to do with this exercise is balance out those energy systems in your body, your yin and your yang, getting to a perfect harmony. This is a great exercise to do at any time of the day when you feel stressed out or overtaxed. Find a quiet spot. You can do it sitting down, lying down, or standing up. Take your focus in and play with your breath. Make this your last cycle. When you've completed your last breath cycle, Float your hands to prayer in front of your heart. Just take a minute, give me a couple of easy, relaxed recovery breaths here, breathing equally through both nostrils. Keep your breath cycle relaxed and soft. When you're ready, gently take your focus back in. Take a moment to thank yourself. Thank you all for sharing your amazing energy with me this morning. Have a lovely day. Namaste to you all. Please remember to give me a thumbs up to like this video, share it with all your friends. Give me a comment in the comments box below so that I know how you experienced this class. And then please remember to hit that big red subscribe button at the bottom of your screen so that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and that you don't miss out on all the future notifications that are going to be driven through this channel. Namaste to you all. See you same time tomorrow for Pilates.